Do you live in the US and want fast, fresh and tasty meals without the hassle of shopping or all that hard work preparation? Well, don't you worry, as a lazy man, I've got you covered. Try America's #1 meal kit service, HelloFresh, and get yourself fresh, pre-portioned ingredients delivered direct to your door. So why not eat well, stay healthy, and avoid the cost of regular takeout by trying HelloFresh? Just click the link in the description below for a special limited time discount and free shipping as well. Enjoy. Well, this second tie of the season in Europe is going to be a very different one to the first, isn't it? We face RB Salzburg from a league that is now loaded with players that are now very well known. And although they've got a mix of youth and experience, I've got a feeling we might get rolled over. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 72 of Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. We are back with this Build a Nation story from Distillery, and today we have an opportunity to cause another massive shock. We did it last year in this very round against Besiktas. That, though, was when a lot of leagues had just been loaded and there weren't as many real players or as many very good players. Here at Salzburg, there are quite a few today, and we'll have a look at their lineup, of course, in a moment. If you're looking forward to seeing how we compete on the big stage as we edge closer to another domestic season, then please do put a thumbs up on it. I will share with you our transfer news since the last episode, but yet again, is not a very good summer so far. Just one signing through the door, and it's an essential one rather than a spectacular one. We lost out on both of the star players we wanted to sign last episode, and that leads us to our starting point, because Ben Williams cannot yet be loaned out with no replacement. Matthew Apter has agreed to join, but we don't currently have a free space in the squad for someone who's not homegrown, so I can't let him into the club because it would just be a waste of money. And if we go to the transfer history, I've had to bring in a non-homegrown player at left back because we couldn't get Michael Hammond back. So Stephen Walker, he comes in on loan from Bohemians. Not a big fan of the fact that he's got a 2 rating for composure. Can't really tackle, mark or anticipate where the ball's going. Aside from that, he's a great defender. Very good stamina and decent positioning, which of course I'm a fan of. We've also had Ben Owen leave the club. That happened towards the end of the last episode. He went to TNS for 26 grand. So we've made a profit there if nothing else. We'll keep an eye on the Michael Hammond situation and maybe get him later in the year. But this is a season where we've basically spent most of our budget renewing contracts to keep our current squad at the club. We've not been able to go pro. We've not been able to invest a huge amount. We're just having to try and preserve rather than get better. And it's a very frustrating position to be in. Since you were with me, we played a friendly 2 days ago. We did play mainly young players and a few people getting a bit of a run out, Walker being one of them. But in the end, it was a win against Institute, and that leads us nicely into this Salzburg game. So let's go and get through to the first leg of it. I will show you how Linfield got on in the Champions League very quickly with their new manager Ryan Dunn. 3-1 defeat at home to Hungarian side Ferencváros. We're definitely seeing the difference now of new leagues being loaded, and I can't lie to you, I'm a little worried about Linfield. Not really made many signings, of course the change of manager won't have helped. But I do fear that they're maybe going to have a poor year. For now, though, let's go and get into this. The Welsh side's actually doing very well in this save. We're at home to Salzburg. Larne have got a more winnable tie against Betar Jerusalem, but they are still probably the favourites. So let's see how we get on as we get opposition instructions on for one man. I mentioned it at the end of the last episode. Josh Brownhill is one of those in the team at 34 now. Carlin Grant early in his 30s. But then you've got some real stars in their prime as well. Pape Sarr. He was at Spurs at the start of the save. Now 27, Senegalese regular international at Salzburg on 25 grand a week. We're talking good players. Add to that in defence, they've got 2 centre-halves who are now Austria internationals, both of them regens. Up front, they've still got Koita, who's actually there in real life, a Mali legend in this save as well. Let's just get through to the team selection. We know what our strongest team is on paper. Has our assistant picked it? I think they might have. We have got Walker available, actually, for some reason. He's played in the Europa Conference for Bohemians. He certainly didn't play for us. So I'm not quite sure why he's available, but we'll live with it. We're not going to complain about that. This is the team that we've gone for today. I think it's the same that we put out in the first leg of the first qualifying round. It is our strongest 11 now. It's Neil Kane in goal, Wilson and Bell the fullbacks with Cooper alongside McClelland at centre-half, Whitehall and Daniels the midfield two, and Pardee and Varma the wingers, and then Morgan Griffiths behind Mark Wilson up front, who is still going strong as our new number one striker. Not quite the same quality as Koita, but he might be able to do a job. Let's go and get through to it. Hope momentum, hope fitness and everything else takes us in. For Salzburg, it's their first competitive football. We've had a pre-season. Will that help us? Well, if it's it's got to in the home leg, quite frankly. Well, here we go then. And weirdly, there is a little bit of a problem with this Salzburg team still. They're still a little short on the bench because they've not been able to build up their full squad yet from going to a playable league. And where we've added them in this summer in Austria, they've not yet appointed a manager, which is a problem for quite a few of the clubs. We've seen the quality of player they've got. We have got no one of the ability of Saar, of Grant, of Koita, of either of the Austrian defenders. We're not on the same level. So let's see what happens in this game. It is a full real 11. It is a very difficult test. But at home, we know we've always got a chance because we've seen the AI this year. They're set up very cautiously on the road. But if all goes to plan in this episode, I would imagine we're going out pretty comfortably. We'll keep an eye on Larne as well, of course, as again, Windsor Park is basically empty. We have managed to get about 5 people into the bottom tier this time, though. Oh, and there's a few on the other side as well. There is some progress. There's definitely more fans in than last time. Let's hope that's affecting the finances. Lovely graphics. I've left the music off again for you this time. But let's go and get into the first half and cross our fingers for a miracle result. Well, I've got to say, with 15 minutes gone, this is resembling what I expected a bit more. RB Salzburg have had 2 shots, we've had none. They've had them both on target, but we are on the front foot here with Pardee. We won the ball high up and now Wilson's making an overlap. We're trying to be front-footed. Daniels into Pardee. Oh my word, we've scored. 1-0 up against Salzburg, a team that have dominated this game so far. It's a proper FM in at the moment. You can see it there, albeit the stats have levelled up straight away. But the expected goal still higher for the visitors. And at the moment, we are finding a way. It keeps going back to the friendly scores. I've changed it twice already. Larne 0-0 in their match. We're remarkably 1-0 up. And that's despite the fact Salzburg have basically got a championship level team. You just cannot explain it sometimes. They've set up very cautiously away from home. And at half time, we're starting to dominate the stats too. It is 1-0 and the confidence is building. Let's keep going. Let's keep doing what we're doing. We look really strong at the moment. And hopefully, as we move into the second half, we can keep this lead up because it would be a fabulous result. And even if we just add to the coefficient by winning the first leg, it does make a difference. But you've seen the players they've got. It's madness. As a long ball towards Wilson, half-headed away, flicked on, and now they've got a chance to counter. And that's where it goes wrong. Brian Varma barely had a yellow card since joining this club and now manages to pick up a red. These things are just built to go against us, aren't they? I'm not sure, actually, why we've suddenly picked up so many in this game. Maybe that is the better quality and a higher intensity opposition. But let's go and take off Whitehall. We'll drop Griffiths into Mazzala. Whitehall will come off for Lewis Scott, and he will go out on the left-hand side. We've got to do it for now. I don't want to go too cautious and sit back because it could come back to haunt us. But I do worry that we're now not going to win this match. We saw against Nurkopin, despite them going down to 10 last year, we weren't able to break a team down. So with us having 10, will it benefit or hinder us? As Wilson gets it back to Griffiths, looks all right at the minute. Wilson again, imagine we nick a second. Saar blocks the cross, it's down to Pardee. Shots blocked to Federer, and he heads it away. Flicked on yet again to Callum Wilson, but Koita nicks it, and now they've got men over. Nene was a man we had to close down. Out to the right-hand side, the fullback skins his man, crossing for Koita. 1-1 on the night, and I think with that, it's quite possibly tie over. I don't see us scoring again in this one, but can we at least get a result on the night? Let's go and find out as we're going straight from the kickoff. That's never normally a good sign, as Wilson takes it short to McClelland and back into Daniels. Nice football, but again, not really going anywhere with intent. Kane trying to do step-overs in his own 6-yard box, and he plays out to Bell. Into Cooper. I'm just worried about how deep we lose the ball here. As Bell gets it wide to Scott, only really Wilson forward. We haven't got an out ball. We've just got a hoof and hope. As Bell gets it a left back. Will he do just that? No. To Daniels and Scott. It's well worked. Scott cuts in from the left. Big switch to Pardee. Go on, son. Produce a miracle. You can write your name in the history books here. And Pardy gets to Wilson, who's still overlapping. Cross to Wilson, deflects in. Massive deflection off the defender. The goalkeeper was just going down to his right to hold it. And it took a massive nick. It goes in the opposite corner. And with 25 to go, we have retaken the lead with 10 men. And that was thoroughly undeserved. Let's go and make some changes. We're going to make the first change in midfield to a slightly more defensive option. That's going to be Bagley on for Griffiths. At centre-half, I feel I've got to take McClelland off because there's too much risk now with the suspension. So Harley Jones will go in at centre-half there. I'm going to leave the last two a few more minutes, but I will drop the wingers back if we get another 10 gone. Would be a great win to get in the first leg. Although it's probably not enough for the tie, as Bagley to Wilson. He can work down the right to Mpardi here. It's a wonderful effort. The long ball is poor though, and it's cleared downfield. Jones hoofs it back the other way. Wilson loses out as it falls for Sarr. So many yellows for both sides. Must be a very strict ref. As Bell gets it a left back into Daniels. It's a really good touch. It's got through to Wilson. Brilliant run off the defender. Go on, make it a dream. Mark Wilson. What is going on? We've gone down to 10 men. And we've just scored 2 goals against RB Salzburg. And we have now really turned the tide here. 10 minutes to go. It's a stunning effort. And Pardy and Scott will drop back into a 4-1-4-1. What do we do in terms of rest? Bell is struggling. It's not the game to test Walkup. We've got a week off after this. Who else can come on and help us? I'm not quite sure. I don't really want to take any of them off, so I'm just going to leave it for now. 10 minutes to go. It is an absolute dream. The stats are level now. Look, Salzburg have had more shots. They've dominated since we went down to 10. But we have somehow found 2 goals on the counter. I'm going to take off Mark Wilson just to get him a little bit of applause. He deserves it. Mukul Hatton will go on up front. And we're just going to waste time with the other subs, I think. We haven't made more than 1 sub break, have we? Yeah, we have. We had Scott off earlier on as well, didn't we? So, Daniels will then come off for... Where's the final sub? Robert Burns. He will just sit in midfield there. 2 minutes plus stoppages to go. And if Salzburg get one back now, we know it's probably game over. Cross into the box. Oh my word, it's a wicked deflection. A game of loads of ricochets, deflections and all sorts. But it bobbles into the keeper's arms from Carlin Grant. And that is one of the most remarkable nights I have ever had in any save. Because we saw it in the banger save where you can have success. But that, completely against the run of play after we lost Brian Varma. We went down to 10. The equaliser went in. And then somehow we found 2 goals against the run of play. A brilliant effort. No one gave us a chance. 1 expected goal. Well, we scored 3. We take the deflection. We'll take the lucky counter. But can we hold on in Austria? They're going to have home advantage. They'll set up differently. We're going to lose our best left winger. And we've only got a 2-goal advantage. Let me know in the comments at the halfway point. Do you think we're getting through? We'll be back in a minute to find out. Well, here we go into the second leg of our Salzburg clash with a remarkable 3-1 lead. And look who else has a 3-1 lead. Largo to Israel and Jerusalem with the same advantage. How did Linfield get on in their second leg, by the way? Let's just go and have a quick look at them. They are out. So they now drop into the Europa League third qualifying path. Larno are putting a real push for it at the minute. Let's go and get through to the team selection note. We played a friendly at the weekend, which we won 4-3. We're going to make full changes, of course. We'll be back in a minute to run through the 11, which bar Varma will probably be the same as last week. And it is exactly that, to be fair. Just Lewis Scott coming into the team for the suspended Varma. We've also chucked on a youth player as sub-12 who's got decent potential but no personality. Maybe this is the sort of game that will make him. The rest of the team is the same. We know what to expect. I'm half tempted to drop out Cooper for Jones, and I might well yet do it. Do you know what? Is he training well? He is all right. Cooper is about the worst at the club, but he's had a good week this week. So let's just stick with it. It is not the time for changes. With 3-1 up, it's a low crowd of about 8,000 home fans in. This is a real opportunity. We didn't expect it when it went to 1-1 with 10 men. We got outplayed in the first game. Can we survive in this one? I'm sure Salzburg will be better at home. Let's see if we can do enough to cause another shock and make it to the third qualifier for the second year in a row. We'll keep an eye on Larn as well because they're doing brilliantly. But what is this one going to produce? No new signings. Few changes though. There's no Josh Brownhill in there. The rest of it largely the same, although one of the centre-halves is now at right back. And I can see that Grant and Koita are up front together. They've changed tactic entirely. Brownhill is among the subs, which he'd walk into our team. So let's go and tell the lads to prove a point, encourage them, let's get your best. We've got a couple motivated, we're through the tunnel interview and into the first half. Different size of stadium, a different size of fan base. We've still got the opportunity and crucially, we've still got that 2-goal lead. Can we produce an absolute miracle? We can hold out to half-time, you never know. But is it going to be what we see with semi-pro sides? What we almost saw at Besiktas last year, just tiring later in the game. It could yet be a problem for us. We'll get through to the first half and find out. There's lovely graphics. I love the Europa Conference League. I love Thursday nights. Let's see if Distillery can cause a shock. If we get through, again, it is an easier tie next round. But that is a big if based on what we saw in the first leg. We scored a couple on the counter. We generally got outplayed. It's an early free kick for Salzburg. This could halve the deficit immediately. Cleared as far as Wilson, who holds up well. What can he do? 6'4" of him up there. And he's trying to break away with Mpardi. Through to Whitehall. This would be a great start. Wilson's in. Oh, he's hit the post. It's a great shot. He had to score that. Saar plays it out in the end. Oh, he couldn't miss it. He had to put that one away. With 90 seconds gone, we had the chance to virtually wrap the tie up. It was a brilliant effort. It was a brilliant counter-attack. But we didn't make the most of it. And we're still going with Salzburg. First chance to us. And it's gone up on the expected goals as a pretty good chance. There's Nene down the left-hand side. Look at them now. Koiter and Grant through the middle. They've got so much firepower. But that shot straight at Kane. 5 minutes gone. Salzburg are going to make this an open game. We've just got to hold on. As here we are, just 5 minutes later. We've got the ball at the back with Cooper, though Whitehall loses out there. We cannot afford to give it away in our own half. That's a good ball, though, out to Mpardi. There is room to counter because Salzburg are gambling. Good ball from Mpardi. Lewis Scott! Oh, my word, he doesn't even start regularly. One of the worst backups in the team. Only here because he's homegrown. And he's put in a wonderful header at the back stick, completely unmarked. It is now 4-1 on aggregate. And it can't all be good news, can it? It's followed immediately by an injury to Sean Daniels, our joint best player, as you can see. And Robert Burns is going to come on for him. It's been a dream start on the pitch. The injury, though, does not help. And there is a long way to hold on with one of our best players gone. As Robert Burns here finds Whitehall. Imagine we get through again. This is a loaded league. This is regular players we know about. Is it just the fact they haven't got the manager yet? I don't know. But it should have been too, because Wilson had a great one as well. As Gummy at left back finds Federer and Brenner. They can bring it away here. They're trying to keep the ball. Saar picks it up in the holding role. Big one out to the left-hand side, and they bring it forward again. They've got 3 men forward. It's very hard to compete. Nene in. It's a good goal. Under the goalkeeper. It's a really good finish. Kane had no chance in the end. And it's level on the night. The deficit's back to 2. And Salzburg, oh my word, it's another injury. And it's another area we're really weak in support. Bell will come off and Stephen Walker, he's only been here 2 minutes. He's not match fit yet. He played in that friendly on Saturday to try and boost it. And now he's got a very big job to do. He is on for over an hour against Salzburg. And he is not ready for this occasion at all. As Wilson, big switch of play to Scott. This is where it falls apart. 2 injuries in half an hour. Suspension last week. It's not our day, is it? Kane gets the ball in goal. It's a poor effort in the end. And Saar's been injured for them too, one of their best players. What is causing all the injuries? It was yellow cards galore first leg. Injuries galore this time. And Salzburg now starting to dominate this game as Brenner brings the ball over halfway to Brownhill. Good ball through. They're in again. 2 in the middle. Koiter's one. Flag stays down. He timed it well. It's 2-1 on the night. And I've got a feeling the inevitable is now going to happen. But at half-time, Lana still 0-0. They're on their way through. For us, it's getting a little bit squeakier and a little bit more tense. We're still ahead on aggregate, but only just. 4-3, and they need one more. And it's a corner kick for Brownhill here. 10 minutes gone in the second half. That one's just over the bar. We are really clinging on for dear life here. I mean, we didn't deserve the win in the first leg. But look at the stats here. It is a one-horse race, and the fact we're still in it is a miracle. Let's go and make some substitutions. I've got to get the yellow cards off again. So Wilson, I mean, we've only got 3 subs left. What do? We're going to go for Mpardi off. He'll be replaced by Puarte. I'm also going to take Whitehall off in the middle for Bagley and Wilson at right back for Jimwood. That is all of our subs gone with half an hour to go. Do not get any more injuries now. If we get to the last 10 or 15, we'll drop to cautious, but I'm trying to stay in it as that header's poor, the keeper's caught out, the defender doesn't win his challenge, and now it is all level on aggregate. Salzburg 3, Distillery 1 on the night. It's a long ball going to be taken from the goal kick, I'm sure, here. Knight steps up to it. He's 36 now, I think, but he's still a better keeper than ours as it's flicked on. Look how many they've got forward. They're so much more aggressive at home. They play like this on the road, they batter us. And for the first time in this tie, they are ahead on aggregate. We're now going to drop to cautious, just try and limit the damage and hit on the counter. We'll encourage the lads, but this is what I expected. It almost happened last year at Besiktas. Injuries haven't helped us, but now we're semi-pro, we're running out of steam. It's the last half an hour of every FA Cup tie you've ever seen. If you support a club in Northern Ireland, you've seen this 1,000 times before. At the hour mark, you just run out of legs a little bit, and a semi-pro side gets caught out as Brownhill up to the centre forward, wide again. Look at the men they've got over. So many forward. Nene's in. 5-1. And I tell you what, we are not getting to the third qualifier this year. Loading a league has eventually made a difference. It is Salzburg 5, Distillery 1, and we ain't coming back from this. Yet another free kick with 10 minutes to go. Into the back post. Burns heads away. Wilson will bring it down. Holds the ball up. Big clearance away as far as Gumney. He gets it to Braun and back again. But nowhere really to go for it. So Federer finds Braun. Back again to central defenders, who are all camped in our half now, by the way. It's a big ball from Brownhill. Out to the right wing back. He puts another one in. Good header away to Puarte. Can we at least get a consolation now? Scott breaks down the left. 4 up in support. This is the moment, surely. Griffiths there. Got Wilson to his right. Goes instead to Wood, the fullback. He carries it forward unopposed. Inside to Bagley. Chips into Wilson. He's up with the header. It's just wide. And it stays 5-1 on the night. 10 to go. Salzburg are dominant. And Neil Kane, Jake Cooper drifting into the 5s now for their match rating. We are well and truly getting found out as it's a big ball in. McClelland away to Puarte. He chips the ball forward. Federer nicks it though. And it's down their right-hand side. This guy's caused us chaos today. Into Doma. It's a good save, Kane. But the offside flag was up. We're playing for a consolation now. Lana 1 down on the night as well. Don't let this be an awful night for Northern Irish football. Larne have got to hold on. They've got to stay in the mix and fly the flag. It's been one step too far for us, but can they take advantage of their draw? Braun gets the ball at the back for them. Brownhill picks it up. He's now in their back 3, weirdly. Out to Schuster, the sub-right wing-back. And this Salzburg side is purring. They've got loads of ability. And now they're finding loads of holes in our defence. Nene's in. It's 6-1. I don't know what to say. We've not got enough left for this. And this is the difference in class between a good professional side and Lisburn Distillery. It's going to be a frustrating year as we try and cling in there, as we try and keep the money up. Larne got an equaliser on the night though. The Northern Irish coefficient's all right, but for us, it wasn't particularly good. We'll go and tell the lads we're not happy with that. Now let's go and see the schedule for what the domestic season's got in store, because that's where our focus has got to turn. Larne through to face a Serbian side in the third qualifying round. Curtis Bell is out for 4 weeks. He'll miss the start of the season. Sean Daniels out for 2 weeks. Should just be back. 380 grand note is a good carrot for us. We're up to 1.4 million on the bank balance. The problem is there's no other way to make money now for the rest of this year. Can Linfield bring big crowds with them? Can we get off to a good start domestically? Because if Linfield do make the group stages, maybe it's the opportunity for us. Can we overtake them and win the league? They've got a new manager. They might have European group stage football. And we've still got a good squad that's young and improving. Maybe it's the year we can compete with them. The gap was huge last year. Of course, Larne will have a better season this time around. If you want to see what else happens this year, whether the other two can make group stage football, then please do put a thumbs up. Subscribe for daily FM23 content. We will be back on deadline day. That's in a couple of days' time. In the meantime, though, we've got a fight at the other end of the table in our head coach series this year. You can check the latest season of that one out up in the eye above at our new club. There's also links there to the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and the blog story too. And if you're in the US, check out the HelloFresh link in the description below. Get loads of money off your first box and help support this channel too. I'll see you back here in a couple of days' time. Let's go and see if we can compete domestically and maybe start pushing for our first title.